Hey guys, Dave here from Nerdarchy, 4 Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with the Nerdarchy crew.
I'm Ted.
I'm Nate.
I'm Ryan.
Today we're going to be doing a GM 911 from Sheldon Hewitt. Basically, what he asked us guys is, how do you make interesting adventurers for first and second level characters or level parties without killing them?
Well, I mean, the answer for this is simple. Like, your players, the players playing the characters, they will respect you more once you kill a character or two. Like, they will fear you on a proper and proportionate level. So, there's your first tip right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to our next GM 911.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wait, we're supposed to offer several suggestions.
Right.
Okay.
So killing them is one.
Killing them is a way.
Dropping at least one or two of them every once in a while is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, dropping characters when
But
you're low
you have
level-
the chance of killing them. So if your intent was not to let one of them die, then, you know.
Yeah, dropping, like, a character is great because it's just like, yeah, a goblin is a substantial threat and you should be afraid of them. Like,
But my serious suggestion would be roll behind the screen. You're the DM. Don't let them see the dice.
yeah, you can
You can
flump
do
some
that.
things.
You can absolutely do that. I mean, I think it's for pussies, but, you know.
The dice are not my god. I am theirs.
Well, so I mean, you can have interesting because sometimes the dynamics of the encounter are interesting. Where like the players have advantage on their foes. They come to the foes like while they're asleep or whatever. Like so they could encounter people when they're actually at the disadvantage. In game statistics wise and this and that. So that will give them more survivability because if they can take out a couple of them in the opening round, then it's like they killed more foes. But really, you just made the encounter that they really should have after they took out these two, real fast.
So one of my suggestions is just throw in easy encounters.
Yeah.
Give it to them, because for one, they're gonna feel good about it. They get to test out the rules and the characters if they're not familiar. You get to if I take it like this question is coming from maybe a less experienced DM, but because this is their concern. So it gives you a way to feel it out. And there's never, in my opinion, like I'm not in love with my monsters. I have a whole book full of them, and there's more where they came from, and I can make them up as I go. So I don't care if they die. I do kind of care if the players die. So that being said, just throw them easy encounters to start with if that's what you're worried about. You can make, first of all, the players are going to have fun if they're winning and if they get to feel like badasses. Yes. So
as long as they do feel challenged, if you are constantly rolling over top of every encounter, I don't feel that the fun level is still there.
That's what third level's for.
Yeah, you want to bum rush them to level 3 or 4 is really what it is for them to be substantial.
And the XP required to get to third level is not very high. So.
Yeah, the XP it's really fascinating the way they set it up in this edition. They did it right, and for your first 5 levels you cruise, but after that you start to slow down and catch up to third edition, and then third edition blows by you when it comes to leveling. So
you've got to be
like
killing
that pace.
some crazy monsters to be getting levels.
Another possible way is to let's take orc. Orcs are a strong monster. They're equipped with a great axe that can do some serious damage. So if you want to use a more challenging monster, you could give them a smaller weapon or lesser stats. Obviously, the XP level should be changed.
Or the orcs are drunk when the party encounters them, and they're rolling at disadvantage because the orcs are tanked.
Well, there's that as well. So if you drop the orc down to say a 12 strength and you give him a short sword, now his pluses to hit go down. His damage significantly goes down because he's capping out at a 7 as opposed to a 14. You
can give them crappier armor, so they're easier to hit.
So if you modify the monster and the gear in such a way so that it's less challenging, they feel like, okay, well, I fought an orc, I feel a little bit better, as opposed to the holy crap, an orc just a single orc just took out 2 of my players.
Yeah. Or another thing with this group of orcs that your players are encountering. It's a group of orcs that are already a warband that just got done a raid, so they're already kind of beat up, so they have less hit points. Like, you come up with these things that fit, like, a drunk orc or a orc that's beat up from already having fought. Like, that's not unrealistic for orcs at all,
They're always fighting people.
They're fighting.
But I'm thinking
making music, making songs, fighting around the world, So.
But I'm thinking specifically for this, just taking monsters out of the book that... I mean, yeah, if you really want to use orcs, you can always... nerf them a little bit. But I'm using goblins pretty successfully. When they handle 6, I say, all right, well, how about 12 with some of them showing up later on an advantage till, so they're shooting arrows at them or something. So I see every once in a while throwing a little bit more challenging configuration. And sometimes, the
reinforcements vary it up a bit too. It gives you an
Yeah.
interesting angle.
Yeah, it varies it up. It varies up the combat. It's not just, okay, what you see is what you get. Here's 5 goblins. Well, now there's 3 over here and there's 4 over here. And so it varies it up. It makes them say, oh, there's multiple stages to this combat that, not initially what I see is what I get. And you can say, oh, man, I just really trounced these guys with several criticals. I can just have that reinforcement, that third reinforcement, just not happen, or have it be 2 instead of 4. So you plan your encounters with the option of just removing guys that aren't there, or just have them make a bad decision,
Right.
or break. I just saw
Be
4 of my
cowardly,
guys.
yeah.
I just saw 4 of my guys get killed. I'm out of here.
Yeah, fighting to the end is always silly.
So he might. You might know, and the players might know that they're almost dead, but the guy who decided it's not worth dying for and wants to run away doesn't know. So that's kind of from that perspective.
Or if their leader gets killed, but the rest of the guys are just like conscripts or whatever,
and
they all break ranks.
The party might almost be dead, but those guys don't know that. They're deciding they want to live.
And that's one of the things about 5th edition. In other editions of D&D, your hit points represented, how many wounds you could take. 5th edition really turns your hit points into more of an endurance than, how much bloodshed can happen to you.
I feel like it's always kind of been, I think people think of it as getting struck, but
Well, okay.
but they definitely
They wanna describe
they
it that
say
way.
it. They describe it best in 5th so that I think
Yeah.
the general populace understands
Right.
what you're actually
So-
what's actually happening.
So, other than possibly breathing heavy, you're not really showing any signs of weariness until, you're at 0 or below, or, maybe in those last couple hit points.
You haven't taken a telling blow until
Right.
that 0 hit
Yeah,
points.
so you're just breathing heavy, maybe looking a little wary,
Bruises, scrapes.
bruises. Yeah,
So you've got that whole ability of all right, you're still fighting through. So when you drop that key enemy or whatnot, the enemies see, okay, well, those allies are still standing strong. Even if we outnumber them, they've taken out our leader. Maybe it is time to, cut and run.
So you guys have put out weaken the monsters, demoralize them. How about we go the other way, right, to make it an interesting counter and use really weak monsters, but interesting combat
Tactics,
terrain
yeah.
and tactics conditions. Like a giant rat in tall grass.
Yeah.
Or that's going through
Tight tunnels or something like
yeah,
that.
where they can come up and maybe they have advantage to attack you and you have disadvantage to attack them because you can't see them, but they're really low on your XP budget. Yeah, and you got things attacking for you, or you could do the same thing with something that's aquatic in the water that's up to your waist. You could definitely do weird things
With the rat, maybe there's giant rats in somebody's crawl space that you have to take care of. It's like the early adventurer sort of thing in the warehouse or whatever. And I forget, did we the person that wrote in, did we say preface it with saying their name and all that?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, so you have the rats in the cellar, but combat aside, you know how you give your party levels and stuff like that without risking injury and peril and still make it interesting? Have a talking encounter that they can win by solving the issue with words that they don't have to worry about potentially dying. They could just, persuade somebody to do something, or
Puzzles.
or just give out make role-playing XP a part of your game. Give out XP just for playing well. And that will get your party to 3rd or 4th level quicker by
Sudoku tournaments.
Sudoku tournaments? Yeah.
I would say probably about 30% of my XP that the players have gotten
In a
have
low
been
level
awarded
game.
have been role playing. So
Yeah, I mean, I think Ted's kind of followed, and me and Ted have followed the same kind of pattern as basically up to 3rd, like every session we give a level, and then after that it's like every other session maybe they get a level. Just because you want to get them. First of all, like we've said in 5th edition, you're basically an apprentice until you hit 3rd. That's when you become the thing you've been trying to do.
yeah,
And then after that, things start to get more interesting. And, the characters have more hit points. They have more survivability, more fun options to do. And, so to quickly recap, we have weaker monsters, weak monsters, or I mean weakened monsters, weak monsters, really weak monsters used in interesting ways, puzzles and challenges, and
Just
RP.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned RP. And I would add, there's one more thing I would add is the encounter doesn't have to be lethal.
Yeah.
They can lose and not die.
They can be imprisoned or whatever. Well, also too,
Yeah.
like, say you have your classic contingent of like 4 to 6 goblins or whatever. Like, what if the party's barbarian just straight up intimidates them off of backing down? Like, let that be an option and a thing that might work.
Absolutely.
Like if he like nails his check or like does something really cool and impressive, like bends a steel bar or something like crazy that the goblins are just like
He flips the wagon.
Yeah.
It's their own wagon, but
or like just walks up to a horse, punches the horse, and the horse goes down, like type of thing. And then the goblins are just
It was their horse.
Yeah, it's totally their horse. But
the one he was riding.
yeah, just to
And
show
he
you
just jumps off it.
how tough he is. But like if the goblins back down from that fight, then the party still won and they still get the XP. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, and a lot of things too. Like if you're using the brigand type monster,
Yeah. They
Like-
want an easy encounter. They want just the loot,
yeah. So that so they're easier to intimidate. But if they do defeat the party and knock them all out, they may not even take them prisoner. They just want their stuff.
Yeah.
So that you could just leave them for dead, have them take all their stuff, and the players just learned a really hard lesson.
Yeah.
Another important tip is Monsters in the Monster Manual, the CR does not let you know all the terrible special abilities they might have. Like a Grey Ooze is a CR half. A first level party cannot handle a Grey Ooze unless they know what it is before they get close enough to get hit with it.
It goes back to the
It does 2d6 acid damage plus its regular attack. So it's like really dropping a first level player pretty much nothing. Boom, down on the ground.
In
Grey
third
Ooze is
edition,
this.
the OTO
Grey Ooze is
used
this.
to be a decent encounter to throw to like a first or second level party. Now it will murder a first or second level party.
It eats them.
Yeah, it's like what are they like
it
a
eats
CR?
third level characters and poops first level characters out.
Right. Yeah. And what CR is it? Like a 2 or 1?
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
but it's like it could f up a first level party.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, that's because the CR system works a lot different.
Yeah.
in 5e.
So if you're new to 5th or it's new to DMing, the
ease
CR
into
system.
it. I think
definitely-
just ease into it.
Yeah.
Sturges make a good weak encounter. They're gonna mess up the party, but like you know what, a Sturge could get full. It could get done munching in your party,
And they leave.
leave them screwed up, but they'll leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and still award the XP because they survived it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a trap at that point.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing. Traps and hazards are another way to add interesting encounters that may not actually outright kill your players.
Mhm.
It gives them
And they
something
could
to
be a
overcome.
part of the encounter. Yeah, again.
Unless
so.
you use a resetting deadly blade trap at 20th level does 24 die 10.
There was a 2
On
on
the first
that
level
number,
party.
but it wasn't a 2. It was a 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little too high.
yeah. I think he's working his way up to that one. So with that, that's GM 911. If you guys have other suggestions to help out, forgot his name
Sheldon.
already. Sheldon.
Sheldon Hewitt.
Sheldon Hewitt. Yeah, and put them in the suggestions below, in the comments below, with your suggestions. While you're at it, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff.
Head on over to nerdarchy.com and see some great content there.
You can check us out on Facebook.
Come join the conversation over on Reddit.
Until next time.
Stay nerdy.
Your players, the players playing the characters, they will respect you more once you kill a character or two. Like, they will fear you on a proper and proportionate level. So there's your first tip right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to our next GM 911.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wait, we're supposed to offer several suggestions.
Right.
Okay.
So killing them is one.
Killing them is a way.
Dropping at least 1 or 2 of them every once in a while is good.
For nerds by nerds, hanging out with the Nerdarchy crew.
I'm Ted.
I'm Nate.
All right.
Today we're going to be doing a GM 911 from Sheldon Hewitt. Basically, what he asked us guys is, how do you make interesting adventurers for first and second level characters, low level parties, without killing them?
Well, I mean, the answer for this is simple. Like,
Hey guys, Dave here from Nerdarchy.
The dice are not my god. I am theirs.
Well, so I mean, you can have interesting because sometimes the dynamics of the encounter are interesting, where like the players have advantage on their foes. They come to the foes like while they're asleep or whatever. Like so they could encounter people when they're actually at the disadvantage. In games to
Thing.
Yeah, I mean dropping characters. When
But
you're low
you have
level-
the chance of killing them. So if your intent was not to let one of them die, then
Yeah, dropping like a character is great because it's just like a goblin is a substantial threat and you should be afraid of them. Like,
But
Absolutely.
my serious suggestion would be roll behind the screen. You're the DM. Don't let them see the dice.
yeah, you can
You
flump
could do
some
that.
things.
You could absolutely do that. I mean, I think it's for pussies, but